Hi there, guys. This is Vinney Chopra again, back to you every week with my 2 or 3 podcasts actually now. Please come back and like us and give comments and share with other people. I really, truly appreciate that. And we now are crossing 120,000 downloads, which is pretty good for just starting it. And we have an excellent guest, good friend. We have an excellent guest, good friend, Kevin. Kevin Gardner is here. And hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing great, Vinney. Wow, I'm tired just hearing about all the stuff you're doing.
No. Nothing like that. I just, have so much passion about multifamily and increasing the NOI. And that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. We're going to talk about all different ways how we can increase the net operating income. Let me tell you more about Kevin. Kevin spent nearly 20 years with Comcast and was responsible for managing the team that negotiated telecommunication access agreements with multifamily property owners like us all, and you are too, Kevin. Now, in 2007, Kevin started Telecom Marketing Strategies, a parent company of the Multifamily Utility Solutions. In 2017, Multifamily Utility Solutions became its own entity to better serve the needs of the multifamily property owners. So I'd love to get into Kevin's head and see how he's making a difference with all the greats. So it's a great episode. You definitely want to reduce utility charges. I mean, I have some properties, we are paying 30, 40,000 a month in the utility charges. So thank you, Kevin. Good to have you, brother. Yeah.
Oh, it's great to be here, Vinney, and I appreciate the opportunity. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about this.
So tell us more, like, how did you get into it, and where did you are from, what city you're in now, right now?
Yeah. So I mean, I started in cable TV, 20, 30 years ago, right? I was actually a door-to-door sales guy.
Oh,
I was selling cable
like
door to door. Yeah, right. I mean, and then over time, the industry was growing, so I had opportunities, and I got more involved with the multifamily segment as well. And one of my roles was the vice president of sales and marketing for Comcast, and the people that negotiate the agreements with the multi-property family owners, that department was under that role. So I really got to know that role very well. And when we started Telecom Marketing Strategies, right, our first 2 clients were Comcast and Charter, 2 biggest cable companies, and they had us representing them with property owners to try and get agreements done.
Yeah.
Over time, they took that in-house and wanted to use employees because they didn't want to use third-party vendors and things like that. And so we're like, well, we're already at the table, right? Why don't we just slide our chair to the other side?
Yep.
And we can represent multifamily property owners. And that's how multifamily property owners or Multifamily Utility Solutions came to be. We started representing, just on the other side. And then our clients kept asking us. So mostly what we did was, and mostly to this day, what we did was cable and internet contracts.
Okay.
But then our clients were like, well, give me more. Give me more. I want more. What else can you help me with? What else can you help me with? And so that's why we changed the name to Multifamily Utility Solutions, because even though we don't do some of those things directly, we've got partner companies. We've got a partner company where we refer people to for waste removal, right? Trash removal. We've got people that are involved in sub-metering and water conservation. We've got people that are involved in saving money for electric and gas. And most recently, we have a partner company that tries to help place towers, right, on top of some of the multifamily properties in some locations. Now, obviously, it's going to depend greatly on the geography, but this is a huge opportunity as well. And so because we've aligned ourselves, we like to pride ourselves. No matter what you need, you come to us. If we don't know, we're going to find out.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. You just brought back some memories. 14 years back, I bought 120 units. It's called Cornerstone Village. That gave my investors 40% IRR. for 6.5 years, by the way. But I remember getting a cable contract with the providers there. I don't know their name. They gave me $33,000 bonus
Yep.
to bring them into the community. So
Right.
are these things still available?
Yeah, actually they are. And so it sounds like what you talked about was what we call a right of entry agreement. So what most people don't realize is there's the cable and the internet providers. So let's say whatever city you're in,
Yeah.
let's say maybe you're in San Francisco, for example, you might have the cable company there, Comcast. They may have the right, they may have a franchise with a non-exclusive franchise with the city of San Francisco. All that does is it gives them the right to the public easements, right? So let's say you own a home in San Francisco. Well, in order for them to be on your property, you have to give them permission to be in Chopra. I agree. You come on my property to provide me service, right?
Yep.
So, but let's take it a step further. If you own a property there and I'm your resident, the resident who wants to sign up with Comcast service, can't give them the right to be on your property. So you're the gatekeeper there. And so what you're doing is you're giving them the right of entry onto your property. You're giving them right to access your property under certain terms. In exchange for that, we negotiate for you to get either a lump sum payment, which is oftentimes called a door fee, or an ongoing revenue share, which is basically what it sounds like. It's a commission for helping them grow their business and allowing them the opportunity to be in there. So that's one way that you can generate revenue, because they have to be on your, if they're on your property, they have to have your permission.
I love it. No, this is again, guys, I hope you're really seeping in, because this is to save money and to get cash flow increased, because that's what we are saying. By reducing the expenses or making an extra income from the residents, from what I see, right? For using the service, could be cable, could be electricity, could be utilities, like you said, even the renter's insurance. I remember people approached us. I bought 34 properties so far. So the key thing is that people would like to work with you to help you provide great service, number one, where the residents are happy, I guess, right?
Right. And there's, when you enter into one of these agreements, your resident is not paying, it's seamless to your resident. Your resident is not paying a premium or anything like that. They are paying the same rate as everybody else. But think about it from the cable company standpoint, or you mentioned renter's insurance. What power you have when your leasing agent is sitting down with that person that's moving into your property and they're going over everything, right? Here's who we recommend for this. Here's who we recommend for that. Here's how you call them. Here's how you contact them. There is a lot of power in there. So as a cable company, it's in their best interest to have you helping promote their service. And you're not going to promote an inferior product. We never suggest that whatsoever. But, you know, if you can help them, then they're going to help you. And it's kind of a win-win situation. So that really works well. But that's just one element, because there's something else called bulk service. So if you own an apartment property that has 100 units, you may want to provide internet as an amenity.
Sure.
And you may want to buy that in bulk for all your residents. And buying in bulk, you'll get a significant discount. So let's say you bought that service for $30, but if they were to buy it themselves, it was $50, but you want to offer it as an amenity. Maybe where your next door, the property might be charging $700. Maybe you can say, we have internet service as part of ours, and we're going to charge $740. So maybe you're $40 more, but maybe you have internet service and you make the difference on that, the margin. Now, the challenge is it's a liability. You are signing an agreement. You are paying for 100% of the units, even if they're unoccupied. So there are some downfalls, and that's why we really take the time. Just like when you're buying an investment property, right? You're going to look at everything you can to make a decision. We do the same thing with the owners we work with. We want to know as much as possible because everybody wants to know, what can I get? What can I get? Well, what do you want to get? What do you want to get? Are you buying and holding? Are you buying and flip? What do you want? What are your business goals? Because we have options. And that's what we try and do is first things first. Let's learn what your goals are. Can we help you reach your goals? Not what are our goals? Our goals are to help you reach your goals.
Exactly. And again, it's increasing the NOI, net operating income, which with cap rate increases the valuation. I know as an owner of, so many buildings like other people, the key thing is we are always trying to move the cash flow higher for the investors and for GP partner. GPs, LP and GPs, right? Limited partner, GP side. So give us what are some of the main things which make the NOI go the most difference, where it can be the most increase, kind of go from the top down, good estimation.
It depends on the building and the market, but so like we mentioned a door fee, right? That's a one-time lump sum fee payment. So that's not ongoing NOI. But let's say you are new to this business and you bought a property that you want to raise the rent and make marked improvements on the property. If you got a lump sum in, that would be very helpful for you to make an impression on your residents while you're increasing their rent. They're seeing things, right? The pool deck got redone, everything got painted and power washed, and maybe there's new roofs and things like that. So you can use some of that money that came from there to do those things and put it back into the property, which in turn helps your NOI indirectly, right? Because it's helping you occupy units at a higher rent because you made those improvements. Now, the other NOI improvement is the revenue share, and that is on an ongoing monthly basis. It's not huge, but if we combine that with some of the other savings we can see, so that's where we can help increase revenue. But if we can combine that with some of the other savings that we might see in electric and gas and water and things like that, it's a combination of making all those things come together.
I see. Now, I know you said electricity. That's interesting because majority of the properties are individually metered for electricity and the residents pay on their consumption, right?
Right.
So by having the new local company, or is it like the same electricity but changing hands? Sometimes I wonder what it's doing. It's the same.
Right. You got this picture of people coming out.
Right.
Right. Yeah. No, so electric and gas is deregulated in some markets. It's regulated in other. Okay. So as it sounds, where it's regulated, the government says this is the rate you can charge.
I see.
So there's no opportunity in those markets because there's no competition. In others, they say, look, the infrastructure stays the same, but whoever can go out and sell it, you got to get your license, all that kind of stuff. But then you can go out and get competitive bids for your electric usage. Now, as you pointed out, most of the time residents pay for their own. But there are exceptions to that, and depending on the size of your property, you could be using enough that maybe the savings can be significant. So take a situation where the laundry rooms, for example, though let's say the laundry is within the unit and therefore the resident is already paying for it.
Yeah,
that's going to be lower for you, but let's say you maintain a certain number of laundry rooms. Let's say you have a workout facility. Let's say you have offices. Let's say you have interior hallways that you have to, heat and things like that, pools, anything that uses electricity. And, in this business, as you know, Vinney, it's about leverage, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's about leverage.
Saving can give you huge returns in NOI. You're 100% right. And
so if you're
then for the whole year.
Right. Well, if you're using a lot of electricity, you have more bargaining power with the competitive company there.
Yeah.
Right. So just like when we go to talk to a cable company about a certain number of units, the more units we have, the better they're gonna be like, oh, these guys are, we they have more leverage.
Totally.
So
Totally.
yeah, so same thing holds true with that.
Utilities, bill back, we call it, or RUB system, RUB's
Yes.
utilities bill back system. We say water, trash, sewer, and pest control, right? All those things. Electricity is individually metered, but I had one property where the water was also individually metered.
Mhm.
Of course, some properties are new ones, maybe, but not the very old ones. So you are saying that you can save money in every portion, like in water, in trash, in sewer, in pest control and all that? No, I didn't hear pest control. Yeah.
We haven't done anything with pest control.
Yeah.
Because that tends to
It's very
be,
small too, by the way.
well, yeah. I mean, it tends to be a little bit more local and regional on some levels. But yes, every one of those things could be. We can't guarantee it, but we will look into anything to help increase the NOI. And maybe in one market you've got electric and cable, but not trash that you can't do anything with. In another market, maybe it's trash and cable, but not electric and gas. So it really depends on the market, because the markets are so different, right? I mean, each market has its own unique characteristics. And if you go out to a very rural area where you have some properties, you may not, the cable company out there might be small enough, they might be the only game in town, nobody else could get any service to them. They may not be willing to do much with you.
Okay.
But if you go into an urban market that has a competitor, for example, then you've got an opportunity. So
Excellent.
just like each building is different, each market is a little different. And that's why we don't commit to a lot of stuff up front, but we ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, which is the right thing to do, because you want to kind of give a proposal that hopefully will come very much coincide with the savings, right? After going through everything. I know I started sometime in Texas, I had 24 assets, right? And we have sold quite a few now. But the thing is, the key was for us to be able to provide all these bills, right? For the whole year, isn't it true? Because it has to be averaged and everything. How does one go about, and how long is this process, if I may ask? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, that varies by market. So I can be dealing with the same large national cable provider, and in one market I may get great service and they may turn things around very quickly, and in another market they may not, right? So it does vary. I mean, typically we can have a cable contract can be done usually within 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, because they have to do some research, and then we have to sign the agreement, review the agreement, and all that. So it does take some time.
It does take time. Wonderful. What would you tell somebody who just bought the property, right? Let's say it's 100 units.
Yeah.
So how should they, go about, what will be the biggest saving they could move the needle, I call it, right? What should they look into if they contact you? What would you take them through, and so forth?
Well, I mean, all they have to do is get us the name of the property, the primary address, and the number of units, and the legal entity that owns it, and we can start looking into all this other stuff. So while they're busy rehabbing units and fixing them up, and they're boots on the ground there, right? So they're doing their stuff locally. They turn this all over to us, and here's the cool thing, Vinney. We don't charge an hourly rate.
Yeah.
We don't charge a retainer. We get a percentage of what we bring them.
Oh, awesome.
Right. So if we don't, at the end of the day, if they don't sign a new agreement, or if we don't generate any revenue or savings for them, they don't pay us anything. So there's very little time involved for them, and there's no money unless there's results. So this is one of those things they can check off, move it over, and while they're busy picking out granite or new cabinets, or talking to their landscaping companies locally, they can just know that this is going on, and we'll come back to them when we've got an update. We'll update them quickly, doesn't take long, and then we move on. So
Excellent. So would it be then your fees are connected with the perpetuality then? Like,
yeah,
once, yeah, okay. It's
yeah,
not one time fee, but you will pay small percentage or whatever for your service as is it also transferable? How about if I want to sell the property, right? And the
yeah.
new owner says, I don't have to do anything with this, so you can get out of it or no?
Well, here's the thing. So the cable contracts, the electric, a lot of the contracts, just like laundry contracts and some of those, they go with the property. They
15
go
years,
with
20 years, 30 years, yeah.
yeah, they go with the property, right? So, but that's understood in this industry that this goes with the property. There could be a cable con. It's just kind of understood when you're going through your due diligence, you're going to see it and say, okay, that is there.
Yeah.
Our contract is only with the owner because I don't want the owner to be handcuffed because of our relationship. And if this owner, if Vinney's selling this property, Vinney's probably going to take those proceeds and buy another property and want to do business with me again if I've done good by you, right? So that's kind of how we look at it. I just believe in win-win situations, Vinny. I mean, we tie our success to the success of the owner. There's they don't ever pay us. So if we get them a long-term contract, they're going to continue to pay us, but they're benefiting from it. If we get them a short-term, whatever they need, we just love it when our goals are aligned with theirs. We just think that that's the best outcome. Nobody's wondering anything. And I mean, we would never do it, and the owners I work with wouldn't be like, oh, well, we don't have to pay Kevin for these, so we'll do this contract instead of that. Take all that guesswork out of it. I mean, we don't have to, so.
Awesome.
So that's been our approach to the business, and it's been successful. And, I mean, we've grown tremendously. I got to tell you, we did, I mean, I hate to say it, but the COVID owners were looking for new ways for revenue, right? Because you're worried, am I going to be able to evict somebody that's not paying? Are people going to be not able to pay? Am I going to be able to rent units, and are people going to be moving and things like that? So when all those uncertainties came about, our business thrived because it was a new opportunity for additional revenue. Sure. And in 2020, we did 50% more than we did in 2019. And, we're already on track to double what we did last year. So, and I believe that's part of the market conditions, but also because we've treated people fairly and we've helped them out.
And people recommend other people. It's a small circle of a lot of people know each other and so on.
Yeah. Well, you know how the networking goes in this industry. It's great. And I got to tell you, that's one of the most satisfying parts about this industry is when I left corporate America, one of my goals was to work with people I liked, respected, and trusted.
Yes.
And I have found so many of those people in our industry that are just, I mean, some of me, you don't even need you do deals and agreements and all that kind of, but some of these guys, it's just like, they'll call me up and be like, yeah, same deal as last time, just go, and that makes you feel good that they trust you and that we trust them as well.
Like a yearly contract then, renewable, right? Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, we've got an agreement that's a starting point, and then we can just add new properties as they get new properties.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Excellent. No, great information. Anything else you'd like to tell the audience, You
know what? One of the questions we get a lot is when's the right time to call, right? And we can get involved pre-sale, right, before purchase, or we can get involved later. There really is the best time to talk to us is now. We've got great stories about, we started going to some of the the seminars and things like that about 4 years ago. And I talked to a guy at one of them for probably 30, 45 minutes about what we do and how we do it. And at that time, he had I want to say 3 or 4 duplexes maybe. So he didn't really have an opportunity for us to help him out at that point. There's just not enough there. And you don't need a contract to get into those. A year later, I saw this guy, a young guy, and he was one of the first people I saw at this same conference. And he came up to me, he's like, Kevin, I'm getting ready to call you because we're closing on a 65 unit property and
Okay.
you're on my top of my list to call because of what we talked about. Speed that up 2 years later, this guy's got over 800 units.
Look at that. Wow. Wow.
So there's no bad time to talk to us, and I love talking to people about this because even if we don't do business now, we'll do business next year or the year after or whatever. It's to us, Vinney, it's about the long-term relationships. It's not about the short-term money.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. No, thank you for spending this special time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. How can people reach you? How can people?
Multifamilyutilitysolutions.com is our website. We are big enough that we have multiple people on staff, but we're not so big that we need our last names yet. So I'm just Kevin at multifamilyutilitysolutions.com. My phone number's on there, but briefly it's 248-930-4768. So yeah, just reach out to us, visit our website, and pretty soon when we release this podcast, we'll put this on our website as well so that more people can enjoy it.
Totally. No, thank you so much. Thank you. And Kevin, for coming today and hanging out with me. Thank you so much, guys. If everybody listening and watching on our YouTube channel or Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, please go ahead and give the 5-star reviews, if you will, and please let us know what other topics you would like me to interview the specialist in, multifamily in hotels. Now we are purchasing those. We are building senior assisted living from ground up. We are building apartment buildings and townhouses now. I mean, it's a wonderful time this decade for the next 30, 40 years. The new market that I've really discovered is the multifamily senior living, assisted senior living, and memory care divisions, which we are going bonkers. And goal is $2 billion with a B this decade. So Vinney's on his big thing right now. And then, of course, we are going to be having $50 million fund, 506C coming up very soon. So please go ahead and like and share and comment. And thank you so much for joining today. Oh, my book is kind of fading because of the virtual assistant, virtual background. But thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vinney.
On the show. And we'll see you next week, guys. Thank you.